What would Terraria be without its NPCs? A somewhat tolerable game. God, I hate having to build these weird-ass Soviet-era apartments for them. And the f***ers still aren't grateful. Just be lucky your ass ain't homeless like in the US. In all seriousness, one of Terraria's many drawcards over Minecraft is its unique set of villagers. They help you out in many different ways, providing you with a wide variety of tools, weapons, abilities, and other cool goodies. Furthermore, Terraria's villagers actually look human, and not like Albert Einstein if his head was replaced with a giant uncircumcised penis with eyes. However, not all villagers in Terraria are useful. Like everything else in life, their usefulness varies and depends on the situation you're in, or which class you play. Despite this, some villagers are universally useful. And some are just so downright dog shit useless, they do nothing but live in their grandmother's attic all day, talking, stealing music, and sending dick pics to underage girls. In this video, I will be ranking each Terraria villager from least useful to most useful. Let's get on with this. I'm not religious, but God, I hate what Christmas has become. While its original purpose is kinda silly, especially considering the fact that God doesn't exist, its modern day reason for its existence is borderline selfish and degenerate. While it's nice to receive gifts, everyone expects a river of presents so big it dwarfs the Amazon. Oh yeah, and companies also become extra malicious at this time of the year, predictably. What does this have to do with Terraria? Well, nothing really. But the Santa Claus NPC is by far the most useless in the game. All he sells is Christmas decorations. Yep, that's it. No weapons, no accessories, or even food. Just Christmas lights, a tree, and some other vanity items. What truly sets him apart from the other useless NPCs is his spawn rate. He will only arrive in the village during Christmas from December the 15th until the 31st. You also have to defeat the Frost Legion, which is by far the worst event in the game. Luckily, this doesn't affect the player's ability to get the Real Estate Agent achievement. Nevertheless, he's still about as useless as Scott Morrison. What's worse than an NPC that sells useless items? An NPC that sells useless items only if you do all the hard work for her. And this is what the Dye Trader does. Hold the bus. The Dye Trader is male? Well, you learn something new every day. But Mike, why do you have the Dye Trader above Santa Claus if you think it's worse that you'd have to do all the work? Well, my viewer, here's why. First off, he's not a complete pain in the ass to obtain. All you need is a dye ingredient and 4 other NPCs. Strangely enough, while the old man, travelling merchant and town pets count, the skeleton merchant doesn't. His one use is as a complementary NPC for the arms dealer in the desert. If, for some reason, you can't get the nurse, you can always place the Dye Trader in the desert with the arms dealer. This is sufficient enough for one of them to sell the desert pylon, and for you to be able to actually use it. Just judging by the name alone, you can tell that the clothier is useless. He only sells vanity items. And you can obviously guess which type of vanity items. Unless you're like Cyrax and haven't seen a new piece of clothing since the reign of Augustus. What makes him even more ridiculous is his selling patterns. Most of the clothes can't be bought at the same time, meaning you would have to wait for certain criteria. These include moon phase, whether or not it's a blood moon, whether the lunatic cultist has been defeated, or even if you're in a graveyard. It makes obtaining all of his works rather tedious and irritating. Only sells paint. And some brushes. No real purpose apart from vanity. Still isn't as much of a pain as the previous ones mentioned. Anybody want a haircut? If so, then the stylist is the perfect NPC for you. Regrettably for her, I haven't had a haircut in over a year. And that's all she's really good for. And now, we've finally reached an NPC that is actually somewhat useful. And it's the golfer. What? Why? What kind of idiot plays golf in Terraria? Not me, that's for sure. But he does sell some useful items. Using the lawnmower on grass decreases enemy spawn rates, while the golf buggy is a nice mode of transportation. Still, he's not someone I'd rely upon for game progression. Do you wanna build a snowman? It's the middle of summer, dumbass. And I'm in Australia too. We could build a sandman, I guess. The princess is mostly useless on a normal world. Her main purpose is to fill in any happiness gaps for certain NPCs that can help you gain a new biome pylon. However, she can sell some of the good shit on world seeds such as Get Fixed Boy and Celebration Mark 10. Particularly good items include the Coin Gun, Terragrim, and the Lucky Coin. But who goes on those type of worlds anyway, let alone actually plays on them? Be honest. Every game needs a town degenerate, and the party girl is just that. The biggest problem I have with this NPC is her spawn rate. Once the criteria for her arrival are met, there is only a 2.5% chance of her spawning once every 2 minutes, which is an absolute pain in the neck. She also only really sells party themed items, such as fireworks, bubble machines, and party girl bathwater. Nah, just kidding. But she does also sell the Celebration, which is a decent, albeit inaccurate ranged weapon similar to a rocket launcher. Yarmy hearties! In at number 20 we have the Pirate Captain, whose only useful item sold is the Pirate Cannon, a mediocre sentry weapon. His best use is giving you the ability to purchase the Ocean Pylon, and even then, the golfer can do that. I'm sure we all like money and wish we could have some more. So what does society usually do in order to procure more? Take it from others, which is what the tax collector does. Sadly, he doesn't really take much, being capped at a meager 25 to 33 gold. This means you can't just leave him for a long time and expect him to give you 5 platinum coins as a reward for your patience. Furthermore, generation of funds is slow, with 50 copper per IRL minute and villager. And as if that wasn't painful enough, the only way to get him to reside in your village is by using purification powder on the tortured soul, located in the underworld. I can't count how many times I've wandered upon Ebenezer Scrooge in hell, only to be missing the required powder. Next, we have the zoologist, and her usefulness is dependent on some factors. Her presence and power for the user depends on how much of the bestiary you've filled out. In order to get her in the first place, you need at least 10%. When she first arrives, the only thing with somewhat of a use is the leather whip. While it can be handy for early game summoners to possess, usually by then they would have the superior jungle whip. The more useful items come in once you've discovered at least 30% of the bestiary and have entered hard mode. They include the saddles and jousting lance, but her most useful product is the digging molecart at 35%. With enough minecart tracks in your inventory, you can easily create quarantine zones to prevent the spread of world evils towards your village. Oh yeah, and quick mining too, but you still need to have a pickaxe or drill to use it, so don't think the molecart can just replace the pick saw. The cyborg is extremely useful for rangers, who like to constantly blow themselves up on accident, perhaps even on purpose. Rockets are useful, but I would advise against using them in confined spaces. Furthermore, the drones he sells are more helpful to scouts, though so is the minus button. Get out your magic mushrooms, because the truffle is going to give you a good time. If you're a ranger. See, the only properly useful item he sells is the auto hammer. This is used to create shroomite bars, which in turn are used to create shroomite armor. Shroomite armor is the most powerful pre-Moonlord ranger set, with an invisibility bonus for those who stay still long enough. I guess this was the armor that Randy Stair wore his entire life. Little shit. Hands up, who thinks the angler is a spoiled little shit? Me too, but he's actually quite useful. Why, Mike? He doesn't even sell anything, you dum-dum. Yes, I know that, but he does give you some dank rewards for completing his quests. Golden and hotline fishing rods? Yep. Potions? Yep. The mermaid set? Hell f***ing yeah! His most useful 3 rewards are the Fisherman's Pocket Guide, Weather Radio, and the Sexy Sextant. These 3 accessories contribute towards the creation of the Shell Phone, the ultimate teleportation machine. The Tavern Keep is useful for 2 things. The Old One's army, and being the underground companion of the Demolitionist. That's it. He does sell a wide variety of sentry weapons and alternative armor sets though, so there's that. In 13th, we have the Steampunker. She's the hard mode equivalent of the Mechanic, though not as useful in that regard. She sells some electrical goods, like the teleporter and cogs, but her main use is through the Clanteminator she sells, alongside the coloured solutions. Using this tool, you can eliminate the world evils and the Hallow to bring purity to this world. You Nazi. She also sells special workbenches, such as the Sky Mill, depending on where she lives, but they're only useful in modded Terraria. The first of the 2 nomadic NPCs. Drumroll please. The Skeleton Merchant is the lesser of the bunch, selling more early game items like healing potions and aglets. He's also quite the pain to find, his appearance not being guaranteed and all. The Artisan Loaf is a cool addition though. This means the Travelling Merchant is the superior nomad. Why? He sells vital accessories for the shell phone. Plus, the ultraviolet torches are always on my priority list for purchasing. Oftentimes, I'll run out of money trying to buy as many as possible. While he may sell less quantity of useful items than the skeleton merchant, his items are of more use and better quality. That concludes the bottom 18. Now we enter the coveted 10, the truly useful. The next NPC placement is based on a balance of potential and my understanding of this mechanism. The mechanic is perhaps one of the most underutilized NPCs in the entire game. For me anyway. She sells electrical gear such as wires and timers. Anyone with extensive knowledge of electricity in Terraria could theoretically build significantly powerful machines and arenas that make even the hardest of bosses into the difficulty equivalent of a sleeping kitten. However, electricity in Terraria is a lot like redstone in Minecraft. Annoyingly overcomplicated. But I guess some people like that. Nerds! The worst of the best, in my opinion, is the Dryad. 2 words. Planter boxes. Planter boxes are an alchemist's wet dream. I use them to grow the ingredients required to make spelunker potions, minus the gold/platinum ore. The best summoner NPC in the entire game is the Witch Doctor. He sells a huge variety of practical tools and accessories, such as the Tiki armor, Pygmy necklace, Hercules beetle, Stinger bolts, the blowgun, and of course the leaf wings. But between you and I think the leaf wings are overrated. But knowing of their existence is beneficial as a backup plan. Are you a ranger? Do you like guns? Are you a skinny 24-year-old man-child who wants to shoot up a supermarket over a mediocre cartoon character? If this is you, then the arms dealer is your go-to man. He primarily sells guns, ammunition, and empty bullets. Whilst the Mini Shark is great for upgrading to the Mega Shark, by far the best weapon he sells is the shotgun.
What's the point of dreaming if I don't get to live?
Needless to say, the arms dealer is a ranger's best friend. Oh boy, the arms dealer's gonna hate me for this one. In 6th place is the Demolitionist. Yes, even I want what he sells, which are explosives. Disclaimer, I don't want them in real life. You can use them for mining, creating your elevator, or to contain the world evils in Hallow. Furthermore, grenades are a cheap and effective means of crowd control, as the Americans would know. I also like the explosive powder, which is used for explosive bullets. In my opinion, these are the cheapest and most effective early hard mode bullets, perhaps even game-wide. Now, we are in the top 5. The cream of the crop in practicality. And at 5th place, we have the Wizard. Yep. The best specialist NPC for melee users is a mage NPC. And that's only because there are no specialist NPCs for melee users. Which is f***ing stupid in my opinion. Nevertheless, the Wizard is a must-have for all mage players. Luckily, he's easy to uncover, located underground once hard mode is activated, similar to the Cyrax Tinkerer after you defeated the Cyrax army. He sells items which turn an early hard mode dilemma into an advantage. Most importantly, he sells greater mana potions, costing a mere 5 silver per bottle. With enough cash accrued through defeating bosses such as the Brain of Cthulhu or the Eater of Worlds, you should easily be able to purchase a sufficient number of potions to keep you going to the end game. Furthermore, he sells ingredients for creating powerful early and mid-hard mode magic weapons, including the Magic Harp, Crystal Storm, Golden Shower, and Cursed Flames. Not to mention the Crystal Ball, which gives the user many perks such as plus 20 mana, 5% magic damage increase, 2% increased magic critical strike chance, and minus 2% mana usage. Overall, the wizard is right. Only magic is magic. The merchant is an NPC you'd probably dispute placing fourth, but hear my point of view first. Yes, he may not be 100% useful the entire stretch of the game, but you cannot deny his vitality early game. Just the torches he sells for 50 copper each provide huge benefits. He also sells lesser healing and mana potions. You'd probably think it's a bad deal, but upgrading them is super easy, especially considering how big underground mushroom biomes are these days. Most importantly, you can purchase the piggy bank from him, ensuring safe storage of coins to prevent losing them upon death. Moreover, you can still purchase stuff from other NPCs using money stored in a police bank on the other side of the world. His early game value is balanced out though by his gradual descent into mid-tier use in the end game. Here's a genuine question for all the Terrarians out there. Who has managed to defeat the Moon Lord without any help from the nurse? Sure, you may be some sort of buffs genius, crafting loads of potions, placing down fireplaces, heart statues, and honey in some sort of sophisticated arena. But have you ever fought the Moon Lord far away from the nurse and won? Honestly, I can't remember if or when I last did it, but there are so many times where the nurse has saved my bacon, it's not funny. Her purpose is to heal. And she heals. Faster than the speed of light and cheaper than chips. Not only that, but there is no debuff applied to prevent you from receiving her care right after the previous time. How OP is that? And as if that wasn't enough, she is by far the hardest NPC to kill because she constantly throws healing syringes that give 20 health back whenever her health is low. She's fast with them too. Furthermore, they can also heal other NPCs in her vicinity. Oftentimes, when I would face bosses such as the Destroyer without an arena, she would be the only NPC left after the fight. Needless to say, she's a true goddess. Hey bitches, Mike here coming at you live from Skull Scratcher Barrow, home of the greatest musician, artist, live streamer, and film director in all of Ohio. Totally not a disgusting, degenerate child predator who's so stupid he wouldn't even register a single IQ point. Unlike this little goblin pedo here, the Cyrax Tinkerer is intelligent, caring, and above all else, useful. The rocket boots are a new player's introduction to flying, unless you find the fledgling wings first, which are absolute garbage. But it's the Tinkerer's workshop that makes old Raxo over here so vital for progression. With the workshop, you can combine many accessories to gain the buffs provided, some of which are so powerful they can turn you into a demigod. The vitality of this ability cannot be overstated enough, because you have only between 5 to 7 accessory slots available, depending on which game mode and stage of the game you're in. Definitely an NPC worth having in your village. So who is number 1? Well, we all know, even if you're a noob. Let's say you're new to Terraria. You create your character, generate a world, and spawn in. You notice an average-looking blonde motherfucker by the name of Dylan nearby. You walk up to him and speak. He then responds to you in the most condescending manner possible and gives you the stupidest advice known to mankind. Yes, I have the guide as my #1 most useful NPC in the entire game. Why? Well, it's not the dumb as dog shit advice he gives you. No. The reason I have him at #1 is because of his other function. If you show him any item, he will show you all the possible crafting recipes that require said ingredient, unless there is none. This function alone has saved me so much time looking through wikis and YouTube tutorials. It's not funny. It always surprises me what new items I can discover using this method too. Long story short, don't discount the guide's usefulness. You may very well regret it. And that's the list. Please make sure to like, share, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Who's your most useful or favourite NPC? Which one do you dislike the most? Make sure to let me know. Have a nice day.